girl who stabbed her 9-year-old brother to death.
So both my kids tonight.
I leave.
He was in bed. He was downstairs trying to sleep. I don't know why she even went down there. Like, what the hell was she? I don't understand any of it. All I know is I heard him screaming. Like the worst scream ever.
That's on just for now. Where's the knife?
Sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I don't know what to.
Innocent until. This one gonna be hard on the ears. Obviously, it's a little longer. Bear with me. Ain't that something? Innocent until. I did this one different, man. So let's see if I can get through it, man. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Xander Leiter, 9 years old. Mother, April Leiter. The daughter, the 12-year-old who killed her brother, she's in a juvenile detention center January the 8th, late Thursday night, shortly before midnight, January the 5th. They tried to perform CPR on Xander. I took notes on this, man. What I did, I wanted to do this case. I've been telling you guys in several videos, hey, man, look out for this, look out for this, look out for this. And I don't know where my energy is going to go, you know what I mean, with this. The thing with me is I start these videos off, man, just very kind of like mellow, kind of even keeled. And then once I get into the story and the ignorance of humanity also, you know what I mean, mixes in and makes its way in, it just blows my mind how we can be who we are as human beings. And I stress we. I need to say this. I stress we because I'm like this in my own regards too. And it blows me away and it bothers me as much as it does when I see it in other people. And I have to remind myself not to be high-minded, not to be arrogant, because if you're a wise person, man, if you got any amount of wisdom, you should know that you can look at your ignorance and say, hey, it's not as bad as the next person's ignorance. But then if you're honest with yourself, I'm a Christian, man. Like, my Bible studies are constantly reminding me, you know what I mean, of this. If you're honest with yourself, man, your ignorance is causing as much damage and destruction somewhere into somebody as whatever ignorance you're looking at and saying, hey, that's crazy, man. I wish I could sit down and have some conversations with you guys about this, whether individually or in groups, man. I'm going to tell you my ignorance, man. God is so faithful, man. Several people have been saying to me lately, man, just, you know what I mean, watch what you say out of your mouth. I'm on go. I've told you guys about this in my videos. I'm on go. I can tell you several incidents, man. Today, you know what I mean, I was sitting down in a coffee shop. If you follow me on Twitter, you know, you seen the tweet when I put this out. I woke up early this morning because I said I want to get this video out and not just keep saying I'm going to do it. Because the Idaho videos are piling up and piling up and piling up because so much is going on in that case. And it's so much, it just draws you in. So I'm up early. I'm in a coffee shop. And long story short, the next thing I know, the officers come in and they're sitting down beside me. Now, one comes in first. I don't know this guy. They're in the coffee shop in and out all the time, right? But then his partners come in. Next thing I know, somebody saying, what's up, big guy? What's up, big guy? I got my head down. I'm working, right? And I look up and it's one of the guys that I know. I don't know him, but I know him. And then a little while later, his other partner came in, and I know those two. So it was about, when all was said and done, it was about 3 or 4 officers there, and I know 2 of them. I know 2 of them guys because I police the police. And what I mean by that is, at will, randomly, depending on how my spirit moves me, when I see officers, I go up to them, and one of my main questions I ask them is, how are you treating the people and how are the people treating you? That's my conversation starter. That's how I engage where they at, and then depending on how they respond, that's how the conversation goes, and that's how I police the police. So when I did that with these guys, man, we ended up having a great conversation. It didn't start off so great, and it wasn't aggressive or confrontational, but I was asking one of the officers, like, how are you doing, man? How's it going out there? He just kept saying, I don't care, I don't care. And that was just his, I'm going to say, you know, his mentally, he's guarding his mental peace. So that was his response. But that's when I talked to those guys. We ended up having like a 30 or 45 minute conversation. And they were 2 of the most humble and inspirational and wonderful men I've ever met in my life in uniform, right? And now when they see me and I see them, it's like I'm seeing a brother. I'm telling you, they treat me like that too, right? On the flip side of that conversation, I walk in the bank. I said this in the video. I don't know which one it is or if you guys will get it, but I walk in the bank this week and I got my full face mask on and my hoodie now. I want to just, because I don't want to linger here long, I want to let you guys know. Some of you are going to hear bank, face mask, hoodie, and you're going to go crazy, right? I'm a free American citizen, man. It's not illegal for me to walk anywhere with the hoodie on and a face mask. Like, whatever right you have that you don't want anyone stripping from you, I don't want my right stripped from me either. I go into my bank all the time, never had a problem. They always have an off-duty security guard there who's an officer, but off-duty officer who's doing security there. I've never had a problem with him. There's always been a guy. Or the bank people in there, none of them, right? I go in there, handle my business, I leave. Every time, full face mask, hoodie, and everything. This day I walk in there, and it's a female officer, and I wasn't even in the door, and she was standing up. She was like, can you take your hoodie off, or take your hoodie off, or something like that. She wasn't being aggressive. I'm not going to say she was, but she was just directing me to take my hoodie off. The problem is I'm a free American citizen. You don't have the authority just because you're an officer. Matter of fact, you're not even in your full capacity. Right now, you're just a damn security guard. And even if you were in your full capacity on the clock as an officer, you don't have the authority to tell me when I can and can't exercise my rights. I'm a free American citizen. For those of you who are getting offended by me saying this, saying, hey, you're just being unreasonable, let me tell you when you can and can't exercise whatever rights you prefer. We are free, guys. And once they start taking any rights, eventually, whatever they decide they can take from us, they're going to take them all. So anyway, she says, hey, however she said it, like I said, I want to emphasize, she wasn't being aggressive. She just felt like she had the authority to tell me to remove my hoodie. And I know for a fact she doesn't. I'm going to spoiler alert here for you. I never took my hoodie off. We're going to get to the story. Y'all know I always start with something random that leads into it. So I asked her, I said, hey, is that a rule? Is that a law? And immediately she just backed up and backed down because she knew she was talking to someone who knew what they were talking about. Long story short, guys, I ended up cursing that officer the hell out. I ended up cursing her the hell out. I cursed another officer out the Monday morning before that. And it was because of the same thing. Now, I was in a coffee shop when he approached me. He just asked me about my hoodie and stuff. And I'm like, yo, bro, because this is something else I always say to them. I ask them, what are you doing to remove the divide that clearly exists between the community and, law enforcement officers? That's something else I always ask all of them, right? And I just told you 2 different stories, and I have all of this on video, except the engagement this morning. I tried to record that, but when I was, the officer was talking and I tried to slick turn on my camera to record him. I'm going to tell you what I was trying to record so I can get to the story. They sat down and he started talking about innocent people getting locked up. And damn it, I wanted to record that so bad, but something happened and I didn't get to. So I don't have that on camera, but all of these other altercations, as soon as they walk up to me, I pull out my phone and turn the camera on. That's just what I do. I told y'all that story because even though I have a right to wear my hoodie and my face mask, I know, listen to me say this, man. I'm right to stand up for my right to dress how I want to dress. There are no laws against it. If there were laws against it, I would obey them. I don't break the law. That's why I'm free, right? Praise God. I know how I responded in each situation was wrong. Number 1, I'm a Christian. I don't need to respond like that. Number 2, it didn't take me responding like that. So back to me saying God is so gracious. Several people lately have been reminding me. Someone just this morning said, if God wouldn't say it, maybe you should take the time to think about not saying it yourself. I could have approached both of those situations. Because I told you about situations. I didn't tell you about another situation I had with an officer. It's just wonderful, man. I'm that guy. I'm going to tell you, as much as police officers, I can honestly say I have these things on camera. If I have 10 interactions with police officers, I'm not making it up, man. 7 or 8 of them are good. These police around here, they know me. We don't be having no problems. I promise you they. How can you not know me? I'm the dude walking around looking like a robber, but I'm not robbing nobody. I'm minding my business. I'm drinking coffee. I'm creating content. I'm going in the store to get whatever I'm getting and coming out. So, but somebody just this morning told me, man, if God wouldn't say it, maybe you should think about not saying it. I told y'all all of that. I'm at the 9-minute mark again to say I am aware of my own foolishness, man. I have a right to stand up to exercise my freedoms, but I can do that appropriately. I'm on go, though. I am on go. I've heard so many stories about the police. I'm a black man. We're going to get to the racial aspect of this all. I've heard so many stories about police attacking, brutalizing, killing black people since America's inception. The argument whether they're right or wrong. I don't even want to talk. This is what I'm saying. I don't even want to talk about whether they're right or wrong. I want to talk about how these things affect human lives, man. That's what I want to talk about. And so I'm on go because I'm always online, and in real life, I'm just saying people treat people like crap, and it bothers me all of the time. It bothers me, man. And it's like, for me, that energy that you put into treating people like crap, you can put into correcting your ways and treating people better. And that's why I told you that analogy. It doesn't make me perfect, because I might curse her offside tomorrow if they, catch me off guard. But I'm realizing that, and I'm thinking these thoughts, bro. You can do what you do, but you don't have to be on go like that. And then God is sending people to me to tell me, hey, you just calm down. You speak like God would speak. So I'm realizing, hey, next time I go into one of these situations, that's going to be at the forefront of my mind. We need to always be practicing that. Where can I be better? Where can I be better? Especially as it relates to loving other people. What the hell does this have to do with this 12-year-old girl that I feel like we absolutely failed, and it led to her killing her brother? I don't even want to do the video, guys. I don't even want to do the video. Will you forgive me if I call you out? Will you forgive me if I call you out? Because I just spent damn near 10 minutes calling myself out. Will you forgive me if I call you out, man? We're talking about a 9-year-old kid who lost his life. There are so many stories and details and, fabrications, and did it happen this way or did it happen that way around this story, like it is with all of them. I'm going to get into all of that. But do you mind if I call you out for a second? Because I can tell you anything I have going on in my head about the Idaho 4 video, and now I'm up to the point, and I thank you guys for this. I'm not calling you out to make you run or to make you hate me or just to offend you or get on your nerves. I'm not doing that. I'm calling you out. The point of this video is to say, can you try your best to just love people better? That's all I'm asking you with this video. Can you try your best to just love people better, even the people that you don't like and disagree with? Can you try? Because I'm thinking about this story, and I'm like, I can make an Idaho 4 video, and I'm up to the point where I'm going to get anywhere from 250 to 300 views just being that. Now, that's where y'all got me at, bro. That's not a lot to people. I know people that get 1 million views every time they drop. I watch some of them, right? Mr. Ballin. I'm not going to get to calling names, but I watch, content creators just like you guys do. I know some people that are going to get 5,000 views. Some people that are going to get 50,000 views. I know they're out there. So when I say 300, it's like, nah. But to me, that means something, because I do what I do, and I don't do it to try to please anybody. Nothing coming out of my mouth is like, okay, let me say this so they can watch and I can make another video. No, I say this because I want all of us, man, in my heart of hearts. I'm no saint, I'm no this, I'm no that, bro. I just look at the world and I say, damn it, boy, if we loved each other better, this wouldn't be going on. And that's why I make videos, before I run out of time, right? But I could make a video about the Idaho 4 case, and you got, like, I don't know. We're going to test this theory out now. It's going to get that range of watch, views and stuff. But then if I'm not talking about that, if I'm talking about something like this that is just as important, yeah, I see it. Maybe I'm wrong on this video. We'll see. I'm projecting here, but I see it in other content creation. To me, our heads, and I told you the story about mine, so I'm saying our heads are in the wrong places. Okay, let's get to it, guys. I didn't even want to make this video because it's like, how do I convince them to even consider that all of us, not just the people that you think about when you think about people that are out of pocket, but you yourself being the first person on your mind when you think about people that are out of pocket? How can I convince all of us that that is a better path forward? I don't know if Zyda was asleep when his sister went up there and stabbed him. I don't know if she stabbed him 3 times. This is what the reports say. This is what the reports say. I went and I did my due diligence on this. I looked at some articles, I looked at some videos, and I seen conflicting stories here or there that I realized, hey, this is just how the reporter took it. And then, they got it wrong at the end. Like sometimes I'll say this word and mean that word. I have to correct myself. And you'll hear it in the background when I say, well, you should have said this, brother. Some of that I recognize was that. Some of that I recognize is, hey, man, you're just not telling the truth right now, whether you're doing it because you're lying or whether you're doing it because you're trying to paint an appropriate picture. On January the 5th, the article says, right before 12 o'clock, right before midnight, if Xander's mother, April, is telling the truth, he was getting ready to start homeschool. He wasn't even going to school. He was still up. If the other articles are telling the truth, he was in his bed asleep. Either way, January the 5th, right before midnight. That was his final moments. This 9-year-old child would breathe his last breaths, would have his final moments, because his 12-year-old sister would come into his room or wherever he was at, because it's reported that he was in his room. But wherever he was at, she would come into his room and take his life by stabbing him to death. And then she would throw the knife out of the window. Now the reports are after that, she would run and tell her mom. But some of the reports say parents, as if there was someone else there. But most of the reports say parent, as if it were only her mom there. And then when you watch the video, I only see her and her mom. She runs downstairs as the officers come. Mom is saying in some of the reports, I thought someone broke into the house and did something to my children. I didn't know what happened. Ma'am, your son was in his bedroom or wherever this happened at, stabbed to death. And your daughter did it. She was 12, he was 9. She is 12, he's 9. That shit break my heart, bro. That shit break my heart. And I don't see a 12-year-old monster. She ran downstairs. I don't need to say it was reported. You can see it on the video saying this is some demonic shit. Now, I can't remember if she was saying demons took me over or if she just said this is some demonic. But that little 12-year-old girl was like, I don't know what happened. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this is why I need y'all to bear with me, because I'm just going to tell the damn truth. I'm not going to be appropriate, because I think appropriateness may play a part in that little 9-year-old boy not being with us any damn more, and I don't like it. Remember when I said at the beginning of the video, I start off even killed, but then when the foolishness mixes itself in, this is that part right here. I think appropriateness might have something to do with that little 9-year-old not being here with us anymore and his 12-year-old sister having to live like that for the rest of her damn life. Now, that little girl ran downstairs and told the police a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff she said, she was crying. Women cry. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but y'all know it. Women, some of y'all have done it in your damn life. You dead ass in the wrong and you cry and play victim because you know the world is going to fall for it. You know it. I'm not supposed to say that because it's not politically correct, but all of us know this if we're adults. You manipulate people's sympathy for you. I'm not saying all of you do it, but you damn well know women do it, and some of you have too. Men have their manipulative qualities. I can call that out, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but most women will get offended like I just told a damn lie when I said that, and you know it's true. And I said it because I don't know if when that little girl went downstairs, yes, at 12 years old, they've already learned that too. Hell, they learned that 2 and 3. You know them babies, daddy's girl, she got you by the finger. So when she ran downstairs crying and saying, I don't know what's going to happen, and are the handcuffs necessary because I'm a good girl, I'm a good kid, I don't know if she was manipulating the situation, but I can tell you this right here. She didn't sound like it to me. That doesn't mean she wasn't. Now, what the world is going to do, because we've been trained to do this and she is a female, we're going to automatically believe and sympathize with her. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at this objectively. So I'm going to say I don't know if she had already learned to manipulate the ability to weaponize her feminism or female nature to get the world to see things how she wants. I don't know, but it didn't sound like it, man. It sounded like a 12-year-old girl who was confused as hell. I'm going to tell you more things that make me say that, but I just want you to know she ran downstairs crying to the damn police officer. I heard nothing in her voice or her demeanor that sounded like she was trying. She sounded like somebody that had just killed her damn brother and she didn't understand why. And mom is in the background screaming, he better not effing die and all this stuff. Now, mom, I got to talk about you a little bit, because now this is why I say I need y'all to bear with me. And no, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm not a misogynist. I love women enough to tell the damn truth, just like I love men enough to tell the truth. That man just lined his damn sons up and shot him to death. You think that didn't break my heart? I just also know if that was a woman, y'all would have considered maybe there was some psychological things going on in his head. Maybe there was some mental things going on in his head. It don't make what he did right, but damn it, it make us have to stop and consider a little bit more before we just automatically call him a monster. You know how I know? I've seen it 1,000 times. I seen y'all do it with Lindsay Clancy. That damn woman killed 3 of her kids, and y'all didn't even mention the kids y'all was online. When I say y'all, if it applies to you, the shoe fits, wear it, man. I'm sorry. I can't bite my damn tongue. Y'all didn't even mention the damn kids right after she murdered them. Y'all were talking about how much she needs help. But when men do shit like this, they automatically monsters. Let me get back to you, Mom. I had to say this. I'm not trying to offend y'all. There are lives on the damn line. Some things just have to be said. You said a lot. Go research the story, guys. You said a lot. If it helps you, I'm going to spoiler alert you. News Nation did a damn interview with her. How you say his name? Chris Kumu. And then they had another doctor or psychologist on there to say, nah, she lying. Now, did she say it like that? No, she didn't say it like that. But that's what she was saying. And it was a female. So now you got a female saying the female lying. You tell me now, since I know most people be offended by me saying it because I'm a man, you tell me if it's appropriate for another female to say it. Now, Mom is saying this right here. One of the things, the 12-year-old daughter, we're going to leave her unnamed. Do the info. You can find her name, but why do we need her name, right? I think she's a victim here. Was on medication. Then she was off medication. And then she put her back on medication. Mom did. April did. And she's running around telling everybody, well, I think the medication has something to do with it. The doctor gets on there, and I'm going to put the screenshots up so you can see it, Lord willing. The doctor said that's just not true. The medication doesn't have that effect. She's very sympathetic with the mother, appropriately so, I think. Because she said, I understand when tragedies like these happen, we have a need to look for a reason that they happen. I get it. I get it. I get it. We're dealing with Steve Gonzalez in the Idaho 4 murder. I get it, man. You don't know how anybody's going to react. You can't tell people how to react. Damn it, sometimes they react in horrendous ways and go get, vengeance themselves. It just happens, man, because grief is smothering. So it's not out of the realm of normality for this mom to be searching for reasons that her 12-year-old daughter stabbed her 9-year-old son to death. But don't y'all love professionals as true crime fans? Don't we love? I don't, but I'm just keeping it real. Don't we love professionals and experts? The expert is sitting on TV saying, hey, the doctor, this is just not, what this medication does. It just isn't true that this medication caused your daughter to stab this 12-year-old, her 9-year-old brother to death. Now let's talk about some of the appropriateness, guys. You know how when people die and then you go to their funerals, what happens when someone dies and you're at the funeral and people are talking about them, right? Everybody that has ever died, well, at least 99% of people were the most perfect people that ever lived. They were just loving. They loved everybody. They had the best, most wonderful dreams. They never had any evil intentions. None of that. Just all you got to do to be perfect and loved by everybody is die, right? But we know better, right? According to April, her kids were perfect. Her daughter never had any issues. They never cursed. They never even watched scary movies. They weren't allowed to. They didn't play violent video games. This is according to the mother. Who in their right minds, forgive me for being a little aggressive here, believes that shit? It's 2023, young lady. Your daughter just stabbed her brother to death. You want us to believe, even though these things do happen, but you want us to believe that just one day out of the blue, this perfect-ass little girl just went and stabbed her brother to death? Let's get into what's really going on here. Because she said a lot of other appropriate stuff. Remember, I used that word? This is one of my, Achilles heel. Not my Achilles heel, but one of the things that triggered me when I came to true crime. Just too much appropriateness. And I don't even need to curse, but I want you to know I use that word then because sometimes we need to just take the appropriateness and splash it with the brutality and the gruesomeness of what's really going on, because the opposite is what's going on out here too much. And that's how little 9-year-old boys end up stabbed to death by their 12-year-old sisters. We will take the appropriateness, which is just pseudo BS, and then we'll splash it on the gruesomeness until the gruesomeness bleeds through and we can't hide it anymore. Is that what's going on down there in Idaho? Did they know a lot of foolishness was going on, and instead of anybody addressing it, it just exploded into 4K? I don't know. We're going to get back to that in some more videos, Lord willing. But damn it, I think it did here. You want to know why I come to that conclusion? Because while mom is over here and everybody's over here saying, well, mom, we feel so sorry for you and all of this and that. While that's going on, what mom later says or what everybody else is saying is, hey, man, this little girl has been suffering for a while. As a matter of fact, for the last 2 weeks, reportedly, minimally, up until the point where she stabbed her brother to death right before midnight on January the 5th, and he breathed his last down breaths at the hand of his 12-year-old sisters. Minimally, 2 weeks before that, she was telling people that she was wanting to stab him to death. Minimally. I want to say that again. You told us your kids lived a perfect existence, April. Minimally 2 weeks before she stabbed her brother to death and he breathed his last breath at the hands of his 12-year-old sister, she was telling people that she wanted to stab him to death. That's so much I want to say in this video, and I'm just praying that I can say the most important thing. One of those things is a video I wanted to put in the beginning of this, but I can't because it's a copyright.
I work. I pay the bills around here.
That's all you talk about is paying the bills.
That's right, because that's what matters.
No, it don't, man. I want some.
This is a copyright strike. Parents, I get it, man. I get it, man. So we got so much going on as adults, especially in 2023. We have so much going on. You got fathers fighting for custody. You got fathers raising children alone. You got mothers raising children alone. Mothers doing all. Parenting is no easy task when you still have to be an individual. As much as I can, I get it. But can I encourage you? Raise your children, man. Don't let Netflix raise your children, man. Don't let the Bibles, the teen Bible study teacher raise, or whatever your religion is, raise. Don't let grandparents raise your kids. Don't let the streets, the block, the neighborhood candy lady, whoever raise your kids. Please, raise your children. Pay attention to your children, please. Miss April said, well, she started going into her room and staying in her room all the time. And there were some other things she said. I got the notes. Can you hear the paper? I took notes. Because I'm about to dive into a racial thing real quick. And I'm going to dive right out of it because I don't want y'all to get lost there. But I took notes. Miss April said she started going into her room and staying in there for extended periods of time. Something else, something that she never did before. But I just chalked it up to her going through a teenage phase. That's not unreasonable. I don't want to slaughter that woman for her, conclusion on that. In that regard, that's not unreasonable. Teens do stuff like that. But damn it, I'm telling you, man, you telling us all this appropriate stuff. Your daughter never cursed, she never. Come on, bro. The other people that are talking about this situation and talking about it honestly, they aren't saying you guys are horrendous. But damn it, they ain't saying y'all was nowhere near as perfect as you are painting the picture that you guys were. Now there are people making, the speculation is coming up, the rumors are coming up. One thing that is coming up that I don't know how it's related, but it does speak volumes to me. I listen to what things are saying, and I listen to what people are doing is saying. It does speak volumes to me that allegedly maybe you were on drugs and one of your exes were on drugs and maybe her dad or somebody was on drugs or had a violent streak or something. All of this is in the news. I'm saying allegedly. I wasn't there to confirm or affirm any of it. But damn it, Miss April, I'm going to say something else that is probably politically incorrect for me to say considering what's happening. It doesn't sound like you had a very good choice in the men, young lady. It doesn't sound like that. Now, I'm going to say a lot of women don't. And a lot of men don't have good choices in men and women. So when I say raise your children, it sounds like I'm being self-righteous here, guys. But what I'm really doing is from my heart pleading with you. That includes picking good. If you're not with their parents, number one, you should be. Don't make up nothing in your mind to say, hey, because we didn't get along, I don't like this person no more, whatever, they're horrible parents. No, they're not horrible parents because your relationship didn't work out. And I don't give a damn which parent you are. Your kids need their other parent as much as they need you. I'm going to say that again because some of y'all don't believe it. Just sit on it and let it, marinate in your mind, chew the meat, spit out the bones later. I don't give a damn which parent you are. Your kids need the other parent as much as they need you. So if they aren't truly, remarkably, undeniably horrible, don't be keeping them kids from their parent. Do everything you can to make sure they have a great and an equal relationship. They don't need you more than they need the other parent. They need both of you. So if you're not with them, do your part to make sure they have a great and equal relationship with them. That's my encouragement. But also, you're going to want somebody else in your life. We're adults, right? You know what I mean? Most of us want to be in a relationship. Do your due diligence to pick a wise partner to be around your children. Nobody's inherently horrible. Nobody's inherently great. In my opinion, we're all both. We're all inherently horrible. We're all inherently great. We have the potential there. Measure people and do your best to pick a good parent for good partner to be around your children. Miss April, it doesn't necessarily sound like you were doing that. Let me do this racial thing real quick, man. This young lady, according to as of, let me look at my notes real quick. As of June the 2nd, this happened January the... Where we at with that one? January the 5th, this happened. As of June the 2nd, there's no charges being filed against her. She is in a psychiatric. No. Those are the meds that they said she was on. But I think she's in a juvenile detention center as of January the 8th. As of June the 2nd, no charges have been filed against her. The courts aren't saying a lot about it. And she was in a juvenile detention center and she was getting help. When I made my first video on this, y'all know I always make 2 or 3 videos before y'all get the one that's coming out. I thought that she was in a mental institution, but she's in a juvenile detention center. And they're not saying a lot about the case. I want to tell you a story that happened in Broward County, Florida in 2001. Mr. Lionel Tate, the same age as this young lady right here, 12 years old. He allegedly, and he was convicted of this, killed Tiffany Unique. She was 6 years old. Lionel's mother was babysitting Tiffany. They were playing. Mom says, hey, y'all making too much noise. Keep it down. Sound like one of my aunts or something, right? And the next thing she knows, reports vary, but he walks upstairs. He got bruises, scratches, or whatever on him. And, when they check on, 6-year-old Tiffany Unique, she's deceased, I guess. I didn't do a lot of digging into this story. I usually include it, to put some of it in the backdrop. I'm not going to do that here, guys. I'm just going to tell you, you can look it up yourself. Lionel Tate, Tiffany Unique, Broward County, Florida, 2001. The reports say Tiffany had among other things, Tiffany had a fractured skull, fractured ribs, a swollen brain, and basically her body looked like someone's body would look like after they got hit by a speeding car. They arrested Lionel. He went to jail, and when he went to court, they gave him a life sentence without parole. This is my segue to wrap this video up. I'm going to look at my notes before I go because I made them for a reason and make sure I didn't miss anything. So it'll probably be, y'all know how I sneak something in at the end sometime. There might be something there. But this is the segue where I wrap this video up. I'm going to say this again. Lionel Tate, 12 years old. 6-year-old Tiffany Unique. The story is they were wrestling. That's a very harsh wrestling match for her to come away with, among other things, a fractured skull, fractured ribs, and a swollen brain. Among other things, guys. I'm saying that because there were many more injuries. They gave 13, because by the time he went to court, he was 13. They gave 13-year-old Lionel a life sentence without parole. How do you measure which is worse? Stabbing your brother to death, or 2, 3, 4, 5 times, or beating someone so much that they have these injuries that Miss Tiffany had? How do you measure which one is worse? Because I'm wondering if it's even going to come up that we give this 12-year-old out of Tulsa, Oklahoma a life sentence. And I'm going to tell you what I think about that. I don't think there's any way in hell that she should get a life sentence. I don't think there's any way in hell that Lionel should have got a life sentence. Someone else agreed with me about that because Lionel's sentence was overturned. He got that sentence in 2001. He came home in 2004. That sentence was overturned for that 12-year-old boy, as it should have been. He's a damn child. Does that make what he did right? No, it doesn't make what he did right. But I'm going to tell you, if anybody should have got that kind of time, it should have been every damn adult responsible for him and little Miss Tiffany. If anybody should get this kind of time, it should be the adults in this situation, which it seems like right now that was only April who's responsible for that 12-year-old baby and her 9-year-old brother. If anybody. You know what eventually happened to Lionel? He robbed someone again. The story is he robbed someone. He pleaded guilty, a pizza man. Something happened. You can look the information up. He didn't stay out long. 12 years old, 13, kills his, I think that was his cousin. 13-year-old gets sentenced to life in prison without parole. 4 years later, he's out. So what's that make him? 17, 18 years old? He robbed someone. He gets, I got it right here, 10 to 30 years in prison for armed robbery and probation violation. He's scheduled to get out, I think, like in 2031 or something like that. Somewhere in that area, right? Now, some people will hear that and say, see, he was horrible from the beginning. I don't hear that and say, see, he was horrible from the beginning. Just like I don't hear that and say this 12-year-old girl did this because she was on medication or because she was evil from the beginning. Now, let's wrap this up. You remember the title of the video? 12 years of horror, man. We failed the hell out of that little girl. I think we failed the hell out of Lionel, too. This is all my opinion, how we wrapping this video up, guys. We do everything but raise these children. We do everything but set great examples for them, man. Your child right now can go on the internet and probably is on the damn internet looking at people dying, being murdered, looking at all kind of gruesome videos, looking at sexual videos, doing all kind of stuff. They just found the 14-year-old in Gwinnett County, Georgia. She was somewhere with a grown man in another county. Now everybody's gonna say, well, yeah, that grown man, he's wrong. Hell yeah, he's wrong too. But where are the right? This I'm telling you, I don't even want to say this damn part because I don't want to blame them. You can raise your kids as well as you can, and they can still go off track. But damn it, the first question that comes to my mind is, where's her parents? Because they described that girl like she was perfect too. But somebody got in her head. Now, does that make her parents culpable? Hell no. They could have been the greatest parents ever. Does that make her just evil? No. It could really just be that the guy was just so slick. You're a grown-ass man. You done tricked this gullible-ass 14-year-old to come and be with you. I don't know. As of now, no charges have been filed against the guy. I can't even say that he did anything wrong legally. But damn it, if you got a 14-year-old child in your house that you know ain't supposed to be there, what the hell are you doing, big dog? Morally, I can't rock with you. I don't give a damn what the law say. Why you ain't calling this girl? Nah, bro, we ain't doing that. We know it ain't no way in hell. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I'm just trying to tell you, your kids are being exposed to every damn thing out here. And you know what you doing? You waiting for the football game to come on. You working extra hours at work. You cooking. You looking for the next filter. You on Amazon or Zulily or whatever the hell you buy. You do your thing. You're doing way more stuff than raising your kids. A lot of us are. And some of you, this doesn't apply to because you're doing your damnness. Okay, cool. You're doing your damnness. Let me encourage you to do a little bit more. There are kids in the neighborhood, man. Just keep an eye on them. You can't raise nobody's kids these damn days. If you say somebody's kids, they're going to accuse you of trying to do something inappropriate. I get all of that. But damn it, we have to do a better job as adults of raising these kids. Because when I say I don't think Lionel was wrong and he should have been sentenced to prison, let me correct myself. When I say I don't think he should have been sentenced to life without parole, and then he gets out of prison from that sentence after doing 3 or 4 years, and then he robs somebody and goes back to prison. When I see this little 12-year-old girl killing her brother, and now she's in some type of juvenile detention center. Listen, man, those children were more than likely exposed to some things, some horrible and horrific things that they shouldn't have been exposed to at their early ages. I don't know. I wasn't around either of them, but I can tell you I would bet money on it. And those horrors that they seen and were exposed to begin to shape how they live life. Meanwhile, parents are over here not doing well enough of a job of raising them. So now they commit crimes. And those crimes cause them to be put into situations where they're around more people who commit crimes and more criminal elements that are not human. Now, what do you think is going to happen to their brain? For me, I'm not surprised that this man got out of prison and did that. I would not be surprised if this young 12-year-old gets out of prison and lives a criminal life for the rest of her life. Now, obviously, I'm praying that Lionel gets himself together. I'm praying that this 12-year-old girl does too. But damn it, once you expose to things, you really kind of become your environment, man. You don't know any damn better, especially when you're a child. That's why it's incumbent upon us as adults to set great guardrails around our damn children, man. Some of you know this. I'm not the old dude that thinks, hey, man, we used to do it like this and everything has to be how we used to do it. That's so ignorant to me. But what I am saying is there are some things that we can look in the past and bring to the future because they're beneficial. There used to be a neighborhood of people. You know, it takes a village. We couldn't get away with nothing. We get our ass whooped by anybody in the neighborhood and get our ass whooped when our guardians or parents got home. I don't know how that translates into 2023 because a lot of those things you can't do, but loving people well, putting the right guardrails around children. That's why I wanted to tell this damn story. I don't want to tell the story to blame April. I wasn't there. I don't want to tell the story to blame the 12-year-old, Lionel, anybody that I mentioned. This isn't about blame. If I'm blaming anybody, it's just all of us as adults, man. I probably didn't do a great job telling this story, man. I probably didn't. But she's in a juvenile detention center somewhere. Lionel's in a prison somewhere, a grown-ass man. I don't think they're the only ones guilty and responsible for them being where they're at. I think we have a lot to do with it, and I think we need to start being more accountable. There are kids in our care. There are kids in our presence right now. And if we don't do a better job at being responsible, mature, loving, and caring adults, even how they see us interact with each other, they may very well grow up to be this 12-year-old girl. They may very well grow up to be little Miss Tiffany or the 9-year-old Mr. Xander or Lionel. We can help these kids, man. We can at least say we did our best. I guess that's it, guys. At least say you did your best and be honest when you say it. Don't just be appropriate about saying you did your best. Be honest. Your best might come with some gruesomeness. It might come with some F-bombs. If it doesn't have to, like me approaching the police that are out of pocket when they approach me, I don't have to always F-bomb them and curse them out. But if it calls for that, and that's what it's going to take to save Xander's life, Lida's life, this 12-year-old's life, Lionel's life, if that's what it's going to take for us to be a little more gruesome and a little less fake appropriate, then I'm a fan of that, guys. Innocent until.
Stand any of it. All I know is I heard him screaming. Like the worst scream ever.
How you doing, mama? What's going on, big dog? All right. Why you ain't tripping, you ain't say nothing to me, and you look at me, I'm walking around with the mask and the hoodie on.
That's normal, no?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what I'm asking, cause not all the time. Mostly I get the reaction you giving me, but this week it been hell. Two of your homeboy ran up on your homeboy, your homegirl, and I'm looking at him like you just said, yo, he ain't doing that. Just watch him and see what he doing. So I just trying to figure out like what's the mindset of you and the other ones that I usually run into that be like, he ain't doing that, and the ones that feel like they gotta walk up on me and be like, yo, take that off. You see what I'm saying?
I guess it depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah. It ain't illegal though, right?
Nah, it's normal.
And I ain't doing that.
Nah.
I think you might be one of the good ones, big dog. Have a good night, bro. Man, cops get along, man. The man dictators, that's another story.